Do you remember last week? I remember last week. There was a lot of crap going on, and I thought that I was going to strip about 1 billion bolts. Finally, all of the steering system is out of the car, and we can start refurbing. So, this week, what are we going to get into? We're going to go really big. We're going to go for the most complex piece of this front steering assemblage. I'm going to start with a mud guard. Yeah, this thing is seriously gross. Now, the reason I'm starting small is I want to perfect my processes on things that don't really matter. And then once they're perfected, go into some of the gnarliest stuff that are actually going to really impact my steering system. Alright, so that's just a lot of dirt. Rubber still looks good. Let's clean that up for starters. I'm using multi-purpose cleaner and a rag. I'm just scrubbing her up. Get her like new. This will definitely be the easiest part of this entire rebuild. Alright, so this is one of the housings. Should be plated like this, but you can see that it's all been rusted. And these two components have a bit of rubberized guarding on the top. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this off because you can see the rust penetrating underneath. And I'm going to replace this with some heat shrink. And then we're going to sandblast all these components. It's good on the inside, not so good on the outside. That's everything fresh from a sandblaster, still covered in a bit of sand. Next step I'm going to do, polish up these guys with a wire wheel brush on my drill. And the big question is whether or not I want to polish these mounting plates and blacken them with the bolts, or whether or not I paint these instead. I'm going to paint the hangers, I've decided. And my rationale for that is that painting will provide a more durable finish than the blackening. I'm going to see how well blackening actually works as a rust preventative long term. If the blackening doesn't really work, I'll just take it off and then I might give zinc painting a go at home. I don't have the kit, so I'm going to try to see whether or not blackening works long term before I invest. But you know, it's a trial and error sort of game. Alright, so I'm going to clean these up, polish these up, paint them, and then we'll be ready to reinstall. It's a little tedious, but I want to show you why I'm wire brushing the bolts. So here's the bolt fresh from the sandblaster, and while it's a really good tool for removing rust, corrosion, and grime, it also scars the metal, and so you can see it's got a very unique or sort of identifiable texture. By using the wire brush on my drill, we can get the bolt to a near new condition. Right for blackening. Look at that. I'm very pleased with how that's come up. Alright, next I'm going to terps these and clean them up so that they're ready to be painted. We're using 2 paints today, self-etching primer and engine enamel with ceramic. Alright, we're going to let these dry and we are going to do another light coat of a primer before we jump in with the engine enamel. Alright, so we're going to let these guys dry for about 3 or 4 hours, and then we can apply the next coat of paint, and it's going to look pretty bloody good. For now, we're going to blacken those bolts, and then that's pretty much all of the components for the mudguards completed. While it might be a small process, that's really quite satisfying. So that's the mudguard completely refurbished. There's still a little bit of marking on the rubber, but it's a mudguard, so I don't really care. But I hope this gives you guys an indication as to what the rest of the assembly is going to end up looking like. I'm really excited. To finish the mudguards, I'm going to put a little bit of heat shrink on each of these clamps, just to take it back to what they were as stock standard. I'm using 2:1 ratio heat shrink. Probably made it a little short, but not too shabby for a home job.